Under dry but dark skies, Sasol guides the Sasol laser off the ramp for the second time that day. On this occasion, they have earned the position as #1 on the road. The dry roads have created a dust problem behind the Ford, as Grobler and Judd are about to find out.
200 turn off left, 100 turn off left, before the tar road, 90 left.
The dust becomes a minor problem as the Sentra snaps a rear drive shaft with 1 kilometre to go in the stage. The crew press on with drive going to only 3 wheels. 29 minutes of lateness is needed as the service crew sets about replacing the broken shaft. This places the Nissan well back on the road and deeper into the dust. Serge is on hand in the Toyota camp to help and advise his young wingman Enzo, while yellow gels are placed over the spotlights in an effort to fade the bounce back off the dust. In stage 8, Skok and Sue Berger end their Sasol Rally efforts when they roll the Class C Conquest out of contention. The crew emerge unhurt from the wrecked car, but are obviously overcome with disappointment. This promotes Hergen Fecken and Neil Fourie to lead Class C ahead of Glenn Durman and Etienne Lawrence. For Sue and Skalk, a long walk out of the stage. Jan Habich and Martin Boerter have driven hard, moving from 29th place at the regroup to 12th overall in just 5 stages. Sasol and France have used their dust advantage to good effect and have spread their lead to a minute over the Grobler-Judd Nissan. Close to 70 seconds behind the Sentra, Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seelung hold a safe 3rd place ahead of Alessio Miranda, who performed better through the night stages than Peter Baragwanath. All the classes remain closely fought.
This program is brought to you by Sasol Super 100.
The 1993 Sasol Rally awakens to a wet Saturday morning, and as the Promenade Hotel clock nears 8 a.m., Sasol and France prepare to depart. Any form of shelter would come in handy today, as the forecast for the Nelspruit area looks bleak. At exactly 8 o'clock, the leading Sasol Ford restarts the rally, heading for stage 11, a short spectator stage in the town of Nelspruit. Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd depart, knowing they have just 10 stages in which to change the current scoreboard placings. While behind them, a very keen Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seelung have their eyes set firmly on the Nissan 2nd spot. Towards stage 12 near White River, the weather closes in completely, and soaking rains overnight have transformed the forest roads from dust to mud. The 4-wheel drive Class A cars have a distinct advantage on the slippery surface. Years of experience help get Sasol through the stage without incident, in a winning time of 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Behind the Sasol Ford Laser, Hannes Grobler skillfully steers the Sentra through the stage in a time equal to the Ford's. Behind Hannes, Enzo and Johan have started the stage. Traction is minimal, and the driver's ability to control the sliding car becomes a vital factor. Enzo loses 20 seconds to the leading 2 cars. The rain falls steadily, but the brave crowd enjoys every minute of the spectacle. Alessio Miranda has an even greater disadvantage when their Golf Synchro picks up a flat front tyre deep in the stage. This gives Baragwanath and Reeler the chance to close up on the fight for 4th place. For the smaller 1600cc front-wheel drive cars, the task at hand is even greater. Chart van der Walt slips and slides his way through the stage. Glenn Durman and Hergen Fecken are still locked in an ongoing Class C battle. Although Glenn and Dave are ahead on the road, Hergen Fecken and Neil Fourie still lead the class on the score sheets. In 9th position overall, the Class D Uno presses on. Paolo and Neil are able to make a few seconds on their target, Chart van der Walt. Having started the second day in 12th place overall, Jan Habich and Martin Botha once again attack the stages and the scoreboard. The mud and slush suits Habich's driving style and works to their advantage. Two long stages later, and the position on the scoreboard remains largely unchanged at the front of the field. The Nissan supporters brave the cold and damp conditions and turn out in force at the spectator points to cheer on Hannes and Douglas. Hannes has made no mistakes, and although the Sasol Ford remains elusive, the Toyota is no closer. Disaster strikes later in the stage. A flat wheel has now cost Grobler and Judd 2 valuable minutes and the second place they had worked so hard for. Hannes' expression says it all. The scoreboard after 15 stages tells the story. Van der Merwe and Boshoff have an extended lead ahead of Enzo Kuhn and Johan Seelang. The Nissan is demoted to third, but still 4 minutes ahead of the Miranda-Baragwanath fight. Habich and Botha are now in 6th position overall. Durman now leads Class C by 18 seconds, while only 10 seconds separate the Class D battle. With the final 5 stages still to go, Enzo knows he has his work cut out in remaining ahead of the frustrated Hannes Grobler and Douglas Judd. The cars depart from the Sabi start control for the last time. By midday, the clouds have lifted and the roads have to a large extent dried out. Sarel powers the Ford around stage 16 at an easy pace, far removed from and unperturbed about the fight going on behind him. Enzo and Johan get right down to business. The weather has changed to their advantage and they must prove their ability. This young crew are not just driving for a result on the Sasol Rally. Recent lack of form has put a question mark over the crew's existence as part of the Toyota factory team, and a good result on this rally would change all that. Piling on the pressure from behind, Hannes and Douglas are out to get back that second spot. We join them in car on stage 17.
To 100, turn off sharp, 90 right. Turn off hairpin, 90 right. To T left, and turn off hairpin right. Turn off, sorry, 90 left.
The pressure of the moment causes mistakes. And mistakes cost rally crews time. But despite that slide, which no doubt cost the Nissan a few seconds, the Sentra posted a time equal to Van der Merwe's of 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Enzo was a full 20 seconds slower at 4 minutes 44 seconds. The Sasol Rally moves on to some longer and more testing stages as the route swings south towards Nelspruit and the finish. Sarel and France are driving to a plan. They've calculated a workable pace and now drive to finish, even if it means losing a minute to the pace being set behind them. Large rocks, rough roads and long drop-offs make stage 18 one of the most difficult on the event. While Enzo drives under caution from instructions in the route schedule, every second lost or gained may tell in the final results. Hannes must likewise concentrate on keeping the centre on the road. A mistake on this stage would be the difference between a safe third position or nothing at all. The Baragwanath Centra emerges fourth on the road, Miranda having retired with a broken gearbox on the Golf. Jan Habich continues to throw caution to the wind. From today's stages, he has won 11, 13, 14, 16 and 17. Hannes won this stage by 4 seconds ahead of Enzo Kuhn.
Extreme caution, road rough and rocky, sharp drop to the right. 100. Extreme caution, road rough and rocky. Nice one.
The fight for Class D honours goes on unabated. We are now in car with Chart van der Walt and Jaco van der Linde.
Left, go left. That's right. 100. Horseshoe left, rough, don't cut the corner. 100. Rough, sharp drop, don't cut. Don't cut. 200 horseshoe, keep right.
Paolo Piazza Musso and Neil Watt keep the gap to mere seconds as they throw the little Uno through the bends and passes. On stage 19, the van der Linde Golf loses gears and is forced to crawl through the stage, literally giving the Class D result to the Uno. But a 3-minute penalty incurred at a time control on stage 18 eventually locks the Uno down to 10th place, and the Golf, once repaired, goes on to win the class. All this drama is of course of no consequence to the leading Sasol Ford Laser, with Sarel van der Merwe at the wheel. Sarel takes no chances and backs off the pace on the smooth and fast final stage. This talented crew have against the odds given their sponsors Sasol their own rally on a plate for the 2nd year in a row, a rare achievement in this form of motorsport.
Well, we had no drama throughout the rally. Really, it was in 20 years of rallying, the only rally that I've had with absolutely no drama. And our plan was to go out and try and lead into the night on the first night, which we did. And we ended up leading the first night by a minute. I wanted to keep the minute back here. So early morning to this morning, I went quite quickly and we opened a bit of a gap, which I was prepared to concede. And then Hannes had a flat wheel, which all of a sudden left me with a 2-minute gap, and I was prepared to give away a minute over the last 5 stages, which I did. And like I said, we had no problem, and it was really, the whole thing went to script.
I've definitely had my load of pressure today. We've had a bad season, also starting towards the end of last year. And to break the jinx was really difficult. I was sitting there waiting for something to happen. And it just all went so well. I feel like a new person today, finishing the event, and definitely did a lot to the morale of the team, and definitely for myself means a lot. And, I'm very happy to be here.
The results reflect the efforts of a rally requiring both speed and endurance. The privateer efforts of Peter Baragwanath and Jan Habich are most commendable, given the conditions experienced. The Class C honours went to Glenn Derman and Dave Levkowitz, while Chart van der Walt and Jaco van der Linde survived all the drama to eventually win Class D.
This program was brought to you by